As the sheriff, I'm always looking for ways to be more efficient and more effective in investigations, especially investigations that are as important as, child sexual exploitation and trafficking. You think about 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you wouldn't let your kid go to the playground by themselves, right? A young kid. And today's version of a playground is the cell phone. And we know that perpetrators, offenders, are constantly perusing all of the social media apps.
They no longer have to go out in public. They can hide in their own home, somewhere where they're comfortable, and exploit kids. I can recall one case where, unfortunately, a father had engaged in the sexual abuse of his own biological child, and as well as also basically had a reign of terror that he had victimized multiple children even before his biological child, and then ended up basically producing child sexual abuse material with that child and ended up arresting him. And he ended up getting federally indicted and is spending basically the rest of his natural life in prison.
Understanding that these predators are not who you think they may be. They're not the person in the dark bedroom or in the basement. They're your neighbors. They're your family members. They're your police. They're your churchgoers. They're your teachers. And you have to be aware of who you put your children around and who you allow access to your children, because they don't wear a mask or they don't wear a sign or a badge that says I'm a child predator.
Having a model like the INTERCEPT Task Force really does help investigators expedite investigations. And so I'll say, going back to historically what would happen is an agency would investigate a crime, and maybe there was some evidence or suspect or victim in another county, and then you had to contact that county and say, hey, we're going to come down there. And then if you needed to get a search warrant for that other county, you'd have to go through that system. And our detectives did it, but it could sometimes be very time consuming. With the INTERCEPT Task Force and the commitment of all the agencies involved, we've really wiped away those jurisdictional boundaries, so to speak, so that if I say, hey, I'm coming to your county tomorrow to do this, there's no stopping and saying, I need permission to come into your county to do this. And for us, again, it's been a game changer.
OLS as a whole, we have three key pillars, and we call it equipping, empowering, educating. And we see that being two-sided, right? So for us as a nonprofit, our goal is to continue to equip, empower, and educate the general public on these topics of what is trafficking and truly understand what it is, not the hyperbole and all the things that you see in movies and things you see from social media, but truly what these issues are, and continue to get the word out and educate about exploitation and giving tools and resources to parents and community leaders to safeguard their children. That's why great partnerships like TTF, they stand beside us and they support us amazingly. As a father, as what I feel as a guardian, knowing that every day what we do makes a difference. And knowing that every day we are doing the best we can to provide everything we can to law enforcement to save one more kid. If we just save one kid, it's worth everything, right? I mean, that's been our cord at OLS, and I know at TTF is just that one more kid. If we can get that one more kid. And it's just the ability to know when I wake up, we're doing something. We're making a difference. We're going out and we're fighting the fight.